State who you are, sir.
My name is Brandon Martin. I'm a 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade math and science teacher.
Okay. UGA alum.
UGA alum.
So shout out to the Columbia Bulldogs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Columbia. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I went to Columbia for grad school.
So let me ask you about your business or your how can I say this? What's your mission?
Our mission, we want to enhance our boys' scholars, aspects in brotherhood, leadership, altruism, chivalry, and knowledge. Just to make sure that they're well-rounded gentlemen. We founded the program just because they were all leaders in separate ways. So I got boys who are athletes, I got boys who are leaders in their church ministry, boys who are leaders in several different ways, but nobody was leading in our school. Nobody was leading in our school community. So we founded the program just as a simple, it was me, 15 boys. That was me, 4 people on staff, and 30 boys. In all different grade levels at our school, doing all different things around the school.
Excellent, excellent. So the reason why we wanted Brandon to come through, not just to hand him this check, but as I was speaking with you over the phone, he kind of reminded me of my situation, right? Because I kind of grew up impoverished. And one thing that helped flip that switch for me to say, you know what, I'm tired of being broke. I want to get some money. I want to be wealthy. I want to establish a name for myself, leave a legacy, was exposure. I was dating a young lady at the time who was somewhat way more well-off than I was. And we went to this house because her aunt was trying to buy a house. It was like one of those big mansions, like huge house. Big I'm like, damn, this kid's closet is bigger than my bedroom. This little kid had like a little crawling space where he can camp out in his room. It was huge. His wife had this huge rock on her finger. And I was just floored by just how grand this house was. And he was a, man of color, right? And his wife was. So I asked him, I said, yo man, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living? And he said, oh, I'm a janitor. I'm like, a janitor? Out of all professions, this dude with this huge house, wife, huge rock on the finger, was a janitor. He said, well, I'm just not a janitor. I started off as a janitor, but now I own my own janitorial company, where I have over 100 people working for me. And that was that exposure that said, you know what? I want to be able to be just like him and have my own business one day. So when Brandon called me Sunday, it was yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah,
it was just the simple fact that he's like, hey man, we're just looking for exposure. I would love for you to come and speak to these kids just so they can see a different walk of life, just to piggyback off one of your missions. What was it? It was education, what was it?
Brotherhood, leadership, altruism, chivalry, and knowledge.
And knowledge, the knowledge aspect. Just to teach them the financial literacy. Because that's one thing that I liked as a young man. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Right? So
they don't get it at all.
So we're sold on it, bro.
Oh, yeah, appreciate
Thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
You'll see us speak on the 21st of February, right?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. All right. Any last words to those people?
No, I really appreciate it. It's a great opportunity to have men of color coming back to speak to boys of color or young men of color, especially just giving them a different aspect. We always have typical careers come out, and I'm a teacher. That's a typical career, not to shade that, but just to have different things that our boys can like spark an interest in and say, hey, I remember talking to Juan, and he came out and like gave us these different things that I learned, and then take that back into their community to go and spread, because a lot of times they're teaching their parents things that they learned from someone else because we had the opportunity to expose them to it.
And shout out to Hollywood, Ryan Catches for the Connect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited for you guys. So we're looking to make this connection with somebody that we trust and somebody that we felt was going to do the right things with, our love offering. And man, thanks so much for coming through. And I'm excited for those guys too.
Gotcha.
And yeah, guys, one last thing, Rudy. And always be open to give, right? Like Ryan, when you say, hey, are you looking for a charity to give? What'd I say?
He said, yeah.
Without hesitation.
Matter of fact, I am.
And that's being real. It's being real. You should always be a giver, right? It's a verse in the Bible that I always hold true to my heart. Luke 6:36. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, will men give unto your bosom. The same measure you meet, it will be measured back unto you in abundance. All right? You can't expect to have abundance to be wealthy if you're not focused on giving, especially those who really need it. All right? And our men need it. Our young men need it. All right? So thank you for giving me this opportunity to help you to bestow this check.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
I appreciate it.
All right, take it easy.